Hi everyone, welcome to another video on the channel. Thank you very much for joining me. My name is Warren Bennett. Got Trev mooching around the garden as well, eating some twigs. We've got the sun trying to stay out. Might go behind a cloud any minute, but hopefully let's stay out for some nice sunshine in this video, which is all about some questions that I've been given on the channel. Is why does the ball go left when I try and encourage some release? So if you're working on your release and you're seeing this ball go a little bit to the left, I'm going to potentially show you what this means. I've got the flight scope up and running for some data. I'll set the front camera up and let's get going. Everyone, so hopefully this will be generic for everyone, but obviously everyone's swing is not the same. But the majority of people who try and encourage some more release, so if you're not sure what release is, obviously there's more than a hand release, an arm release, there's a body and leg release, but majority of people have to try and encourage their arms and their hands to have a little bit more rollover. And this has probably come from being outside the line and cutting across and having a passive hand action through the ball and having a passive release. So encouraging a little bit more release will help a little bit more speed. But you have to get path right first. So in previous videos, I would have said the important factor to work on first, if you're an over the topper or steep or cutting across, is to sort path out. Now, if you've sort path out, if you're coming a little bit more from the inside, I believe you can release this club in hands as much as you like and the ball won't go left. It won't start left anyway. Let me just show you. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to work on release, but I'm going to feel like the club's coming a little bit more from the outside and across me. So it's probably going to start straight and release left. So I've really released it hard. You can see there it started left and gone left. So the right to left spin shows there's been some release in my hands. If you see this ball drawing but starting left or straight, I would say work on path first, get the club from the inside first. So let me just show you the same release feeling. So I'm really going to throw my right hand over the top of it, but I'm going to feel like the club's going to come much more from the inside, say at like kind of 4 o'clock on the clock face. It's much harder getting this club from the inside. You can see there's hardly any draw on that, and I really try to rip it. I'll show you a still frame of my follow through and you can see my arms are rolling over, but because the club's coming from the inside, it's much harder for it to wrap to the left as quick. So release, everyone, has to be secondary to path. Getting this club, getting your arms, getting your hands more from the inside here, because if you're more in this position, it's going to be very hard for this club to close too quickly. Very hard. I think I've seen 2 or 3 people over release it in my lifetime. Very, very, very difficult. And especially if you release everything as well. So it's not just your hands and arms, you get your body, you get your legs firing. So you're in more of this position, because the more you fire this back leg, the more your hand wants to do this, you see, look. If I keep this right foot on the floor, it's easier for this club to wrap around me than the semicircle to get around my left foot. So the more lateral you get into impact, the more you kick off your right side, your back leg, the more the club wants to swing down the line instead of a release left. Let me show you that. I'm going to try and start it kind of 20 yards to the right and really roll my hand over with a kick of my right knee as well. Well, that started a long way to the right, and there we go. A little bit more active release, so you can see the right to left spin in the air. Very, very hard to over release it when you swing from the inside. Hey Trev, right. Can't swing from the inside when you're on the mat. Out the way, bud. Good boy, out the way. Right, so let me show you then. I'm going to feel like the club's coming a little bit over the top of 3 o'clock. So you're going to feel like the club's coming a little bit over the top on the cross, and I'm going to release it from there. So I think that started straight and probably gone left. There we go. So there's your pull. So the pull probably comes from path. Let me have a look. The path is 0.4 left, obviously very standard, but obviously the face is 3.3 left to that path. So there's your pull to the left as well. So it's getting the path correct first. Really encourage it, everyone, especially if you're a slicer or a fader and you want to get rid of that. Because if you swing it from the inside and you start now de-lofting it, which is basically rolling those hands, supinating those hands, which means your left wrist starts really releasing into the back of the ball, really starting to square up. Give it a bit of kick in as well off your inside of your right leg, back leg. Then you're going to create a bit more compression as well. To the people that have messaged in, if you're in an impact position with some movement forward, remember keeping your head back, but some movement off your back leg, and then you're releasing it from the inside, so your hands are now going to be slightly ahead of the ball. It's probably exaggerated here, but very hard to pull from there. Very hard. So you kind of got hold of the club face. If I put my right foot back on the floor, it's really going to encourage this club to swing around me too quickly. So get it more from the inside, everyone. So remember, we said I can't remember, a couple of weeks ago now, was it? Getting some weight moving off this back leg, which encourages this drop. So if you're not sure how to drop, nice and light, let this drop in the slot. Let this drop in the slot. Remember what I'm saying there, let it drop in the slot. You don't pull it down. There's no aggressive pull down here. You let it fall down, because it contradicts itself in golf. The more you let it go and light, the more it's allowed to drop in the right area. The more you try and control it and hit from the top, the more it's going to probably throw over the top here like this. So really light, lateral motion helps this drop in the slot as well. Then from there you can really fire as much as you can release. And I would say you over the toppers, you probably don't need release of the body. You probably just need a bit of release of the back leg here and a release of the hand at the same time. Let me show you. So posture, let's get your hands slightly ahead as well. You don't want your hands behind. It's going to encourage again. Left, hands in front, exaggerated. So I'm going to imagine I've got a big pond on the left of the green here. I get my hands slightly more ahead, really going to kick off and release. So I'm going to guarantee starting right. There we go. So it's just doing those little things can kind of start controlling the ball a little bit. So I always say your right hand is a little remote control of the golf ball. If you want to overdraw it and hook it, you really get firing as quick as possible. Let's say if I had a tree ahead of me and I really needed to draw, which potentially I've got a tree ahead of me. So let's imagine this tree, everyone, from the behind view. I'm stuck behind it. I've got to now really draw it round. So I'm going to start, let's just imagine I have to start and aim straight. So I'm going to have to aim straight and draw it. So I'm going to have to get this club in here and banana my hands around it. So hands forward, inside and release. Let's see if I can hook it, but starting right, hooking it. Oh, I fatted it a bit. It's trying, eh? You get the idea. Not too bad for a matty one. So you get the idea here. This right hand and this release is a little remote control to how much spin that golf ball can have. But path is everything. Path is actually the most important thing. Get your path right, whatever shot you want to hit. So obviously here we're working on a bit more of an inside motion and getting some release here. If you want to fade one, obviously you need to get a little bit wider on the outside and hold that club face off. But the majority of you guys want to work on a little bit more kind of zip and de-lofting and a little bit more distance, compression. That's how you do it. Remember, path first, everyone. So I hope that answers any questions. If you've got any more, please buzz them over. Starting to answer everyone's questions now. Got a little bit more time as we moved house. So until then, I bid you farewell and have a great golfing week. So from myself and Trev, in his usual place at the end of every video, we bid you farewell and have a great, healthy week on and off the golf course. Cheerio.